Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Gupta here on Maui, and we are on day 8 of our Breaking Up with Sugar challenge. And if you haven't joined yet, it's not too late to join. Come join us, break up with sugar, get healthier, feel better, drink lots of water, and I promise you'll feel so much better. I know I feel so much better since only these 8 days of doing our Breaking Up with Sugar. And remember, I'm eating natural fruit sugars, things that are natural, not added sugars. I'm just cutting out those added sugars. So great questions I've gotten recently about our artificial sweeteners, alternative sweeteners, sugar alcohols, all of those kinds of things. So I wanted to dive into that today and talk about all of the other options for sweet beverages, sweet foods that don't have traditional sugars. So one of my goals, which does not have to be your goal, but one of my goals in breaking up with sugar for these 30 days is to avoid all sugars that are added and also try to rewire my brain to not desire that sugary sweet taste, to try to just enjoy the natural sugars in fruits and the natural taste of vegetables and foods that we eat without adding a lot of additives and sugars. So it depends on what your goal is. Yes, there are things like sugar alcohols and artificial sweeteners that don't have as high of a glycemic index, which means how much does it raise your blood sugar? So things like erythritol, sorbitol, mannitol, you've probably heard of these, xylitol. They are alternatives to sugar, and they're called sugar alcohols. And I'll explain what the difference is between sugar and a sugar alcohol. So this is the molecular structure of sugar, and this is a sugar alcohol. Can everybody see this? Okay, so you can see the main difference between these two are these OH groups. So usually this is made by a process called hydrogenation, where you add this OH alcohol group. It's not an alcohol like normal alcohol, so if you're avoiding alcohol, you can still consume sugar alcohols. But that's the difference, okay, molecularly, on a molecular level. So why does this matter? Because the sugar alcohols cannot be used by bacteria it cannot be fermented to create acid, which is what attacks the teeth. So if you're eating things with sugar alcohols instead of sugars, they're actually better for your teeth. And in a way, they're better for your health because they have a lower glycemic index. So they aren't spiking your blood sugar as much. So, and they're safe if you're avoiding alcohol. So, like I said, sugar, alcohol. Hope you can see that. If you have any questions, send me a comment here and I can explain that. But this is the difference in the structures. You can see sugar is like a ring structure. Sugar alcohol is more like a branch line structure. So what are the other advantages of sugar alcohols? They have less calories. They're not as sweet as sugar. They have a lower glycemic index, so they don't raise that blood sugar as much. Now, and they don't contribute to cavities as much, right? So they're not as bad for your teeth as normal sugars. Now, the not so good things about them are the digestive issues. So they're found to have in high doses a laxative effect or bloating. They can just affect your tummy a bit and have some GI issues. So that's why I'm not the biggest fan of sugar alcohols. But if you are trying to get off added sugars and all kinds of added sugars and drinks and foods, then sugar alcohols are an option. And it's a safe option in small amounts, everything in moderation. My mom always taught me that. Just consume whatever you want to consume in moderation. And so what are the examples of the sugar alcohols? Xylitol, erythritol, sorbitol, maltitol, mannitol, isomalt, lactitol. So if you're looking at ingredients of foods and drinks that you're consuming, look on the ingredient list. So I found these drinks that I found at Costco, and I was really excited to try it because it's lychee. And I started reading the ingredients, and the first ingredient is carbonated water, and the second ingredient is erythritol. So I'm not the biggest fan of this because I don't want a high intake of sugar alcohols. I did not realize that it was sweetened with these sugar alcohols, and it's super sweet. They are delicious, but in my opinion, I just want to avoid them because I'm trying to avoid that really, really sweet flavor. So I just recommend whatever your goal is here, read the ingredients always. And it says here total sugars, which is great. But unfortunately, on the nutritional facts labels, they do not need to disclose sugar alcohols. And I wish they did. I wish that the FDA regulated this. It does have erythritol. Okay, so it does have erythritol, 5 grams. But I'm not sure. I think there's some regulation where they don't have to put on the nutritional label the sugar alcohols. I'll check on that and get back to you guys about that. So anyways, that's what I think about sugar alcohols. I do think it's a great alternative if you're trying to quit sugar, like I said. But if you're trying to avoid that sweet addiction, like that addiction to sweet and those kinds of flavors, then it might be good to try to start tapering off of all kinds of sweet things, whether it's a sugar or a sugar alcohol. Because in general, what we want to do is create less of that craving for sweet and enjoying natural fruits and natural sugars. So if anybody has any questions, I'm open to that. I wanted to do another talk about doing pH testing, because even though these drinks, a lot of them have this sugar alcohol or artificial sweeteners, if you test the pH of these drinks, a lot of times they are acidic. And if they're acidic, that means that they can still erode your teeth and erode your enamel. And your enamel is very sensitive to acids. That's what causes cavities, causes the enamel to erode, to dissolve the enamel. So we want to try to avoid very acidic drinks and foods and try to have a more alkaline diet in order to avoid cavities and problems with our teeth. So I wanted to do another segment on that. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. I love seeing people here and seeing you guys on these video chats. Oh, what was that question? Are sparkling waters? Yeah, so I'll get to that next time too. So my take on those kinds of things like sparkling waters and all these other alternatively sweetened beverages is the acidity. So that's a great question. And I think always check the pH of what you're drinking to know how acidic it is. And then you'll know on the pH scale, if it's really low, that means it's more acidic. If it's really high, that means it's very alkaline. So again, I'll get into that again this week. And for now, please ask me questions if you have any. We had a great day at Wailea Market yesterday. It was so much fun to see everybody. And I saw a bunch of you there, which was so cool. And even if you don't comment here, you're always welcome to come by the market, say hi. I'm not always there, but I try to be there as much as I can. A lot of times I'm just here testing different formulas and working with all of our chemistry and trying to formulate products that are really good for our teeth and our bodies. So please message me if you have any questions. Feel free to share this video if you liked it, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow morning. Aloha and have a wonderful day.